Hello everyone. Myself Aruna Kumari, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Sagi Ramakrishnam Raju Engineering College, Bhimavaram. This is the continuation lecture of the previous lecture, that is the part 2 of Relational Algebra from Unit 2, Relational Model and SQL. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the remaining relational algebra operations, that is the join and division. This is the symbol we are going to represent or we are going to use for join operations. And join is essentially a special type of Cartesian product which is being followed by a selection criterion. Means same like a Cartesian product. Cartesian product is what it is going to do. It is going to pair each and every tuple of left side relation with all the tuples in the right side relation. Here this join operation allows joining variously related tuples from different relations. We are having two types of joins, one inner join and the other one being the outer join. Coming to inner join, only those tuples that satisfy the matching criteria are included, while the rest which are not satisfying the condition are excluded. We are having again three types of inner joins, namely theta join, equi-join and natural join. Coming to outer join, we are going to join the tuples that satisfy the matching criteria in both the relations and also include some or all tuples that do not match the criteria. Again in outer join we are having three types, being left outer join, right outer join and full outer join. Now we shall discuss all these types of joins in detail with examples. Coming to theta join, this is the notation we are going to use for representing the theta join, and it is a general case of join operation and it is denoted by the symbol theta. The syntax is A theta join B. Here this theta is going to represent the condition what we are going to specify, that is the selection criteria. See here an example. In this example, we have taken two relations, relation A and relation B, and we are trying to perform the theta join, and the theta being the condition that the column 2 in A relation must be greater than the column 2 in relation B. This is the condition. This here theta is nothing but this part. A dot column 2 greater than B dot column 2 is the theta. Here when this condition is satisfied, all those tuples which are satisfying this condition from relation A will be shown in the output. See here we have taken the same old relations table A and table B which we have considered while we are discussing our previous relational operations. Table A being having two columns, column 1 and column 2, and table B also having two columns, column 1 and column 2. Here what is the condition we are going to check for performing the join? The column 2 value of A must be greater than the column 2 value of relation B. See here the condition that is satisfying, the tuples that are satisfying this condition are the second tuple in relation A. See the value in column 2 is having the value 2 which is see here in this example the second tuple, here in the second tuple the column 2, the value being 2 is greater than the first tuple in table B having the column 2 value 1. 2 is greater than 1. So this condition is satisfied here. When we compare the first tuple with the two relations, 1 is equal to 1. We cannot say 1 is greater than 1. So this tuple is discarded because it is not satisfying the condition. Now we are moving to the second tuple in relation A where the column 2 value, here the value is 2. When we are comparing with the first tuple column 2 value, it is 1, it is greater. So this condition is satisfied. So this tuple is shown in the output relation. Now when we go for the second tuple in relation B, see here column, the 2 value in column 2 is not greater than the column 2 value which is 3. So this tuple, since it is not satisfying, this is not shown in the output relation. So this is what theta join is. Now we are having the next inner join, that is the equijoin. Here in equijoin, in place of theta, that is in selection criteria, if you are going to use an equivalence condition, then the theta join is going to become an equijoin. In theta join, in the theta, here we said that this is going to be called as a theta. Here in this theta, if you are going to use the equivalence condition, that is the equal to operator, then this theta join is going to become an equijoin. See here the same examples are considered, table A and table B. And here what is the condition we are going to check? For the equivalence of the value in column 2 of A must be equal to the value of column 2 in relation B. So we are having only one tuple like that which is satisfying this condition. See here the first tuple, consider the first tuple in both the relations. The first tuple in table A, column 2 is having value 1, and the first tuple in table B, column 2 is having value 1. So this particular tuple in table A is shown in the output relation. When we consider the second tuple, see the column 2 is having 2 and we are not having any tuple in table B with column 2 having value 2. So this is discarded. So this is how an equijoin is going to be done. What it is going to do, equijoin? Equijoin is a type of inner join. Inner join, what it is going to do, it is going to show the tuples which are going to satisfy the condition what we have specified. All the other tuples which are not satisfying this condition are discarded or eliminated from output. Now we will move to the third type of inner join, that is the natural join. This can be performed if we are having at least one common attribute in both the relations which are being present for performing this join operation. Common attribute in the sense the name of the attribute and the type of the attribute must be the same in both the relations. See here for this example, we have considered different tables here other than table A and table B. We have considered table C and table D. In table C, we are having one column named num, and in table D also we are having one column named num. Okay, see here this table C is going to maintain the values which are the squares of the corresponding numbers in the first column, the square values. And relation D is going to maintain the cubes of its corresponding number. 2 cube is 8, 3 cube is 27. 2 square is 4 and 3 square is 9. So these are the values which we are storing in these two relations C and D. Now when we are going to perform the natural join, what is the condition we have said? We must have one attribute common in both the relations. Common in the sense the name of the attribute must be the same and also the type also must be the same. So we are having such column here, that is the num. So we are going to perform the natural join. Here when we perform the natural join, what it is going to do is the same like Cartesian product. We are having the first column being the num. The values are 2 and 3 here. So those are mentioned here. The second column being the second column from the relation C square, having the values 4 and 9 for the corresponding num 2 and 3 respectively. And then the third column being the second column from relation D, which is a cube of the cube of number 2 is 8 and cube of number 3 is 27. This is how we are going to perform the natural join. Here performing this is the condition we have to keep in mind, that where there must be one common attribute which must be present in between the relations, where the common means the name and type of the attributes must be the same. And then now we are moving to the outer joins, where the outer join is nothing but in the output we are having, along with the tuples which are satisfying the selection criteria, and all the other tuples which are not satisfying the selection criteria will also be present. But only difference is based on which relation values will be present. So coming to left outer join, this is the notation we are using for left outer join. And this left outer join is going to keep all the tuples in the left relation, whether they are satisfying the condition or not satisfying the condition, but it is going to maintain all the tuples which are present in the left side relation. Here in this diagram, This is the left relation, and this is the right relation. When we are going to perform the operation, left outer join operation between A and B, all the tuples which are present in relation A will be present. And here the other thing to be considered is when we are having the tuples for which we are not having the corresponding values for the attributes in B. For those attributes, we are going to fill with null values. See here, consider this example. The same examples, table C and table D are considered here, where table C is maintaining the square of the given numbers and table D is cube of the given numbers. And when we are performing the left outer join, this is the output of the left outer join relation. See here, all the tuples in left relation will be present in the output. Here, what are all the tuples? 2, 3, 4 are the tuples which are present in the left relation. This is the left relation. C is the left relation. So, all will be present here in the output 2, 3, 4. And then the second column being the second column in relation C, that is the square. The square of 2 is 4, the square of 3 is 9, and the square of 4 is 16. And now the third column being the second column in relation D, that is the cube. See here, we are having the value, cube value for 2, that is 8, the cube value for 3 being 27. But here in D relation, we are not having any tuple which is going to show the value of cube for 4. So that is the reason we are replacing it with null. Here in this example, we have shown it with hyphen. That is, there is no value there. And then we are having the right outer join. And this is the notation we are using for right outer join. And here in right outer join, this is going to keep all the tuples in the right relation. See here, the same example which we have shown here previously for the left outer join. Here this is the left relation and this is the right relation. And when we are performing the right outer join, all the tuples in the right relation will be in the output. Here right relation is B. And here when we are having some attributes for which we are not having values in relation A, for those attributes we are going to have null values. Okay, now consider the example, the same example C and D. Here when we are performing the right outer join, what will be present? All the tuples in right relation will be present. Here what are all the tuples? 2, 3 and 5 are the tuples which are present in right relation. So those are present in the output. The second column being the second column in relation D, that is the right relation. The values being the cube of 2, 8, the cube of 3, 27 and the cube of 5, 75. And now the third column of the output will be the second column of the left relation, that is C. Here it is a square. What is the square of num2? It is 4. The square of 3 is 9. But here in relation C, we are not having any corresponding value or tuple which is going to show the square of num5. So that is the reason we are going to show it here as null. In this example, we are representing it with hyphen. And now we are having the last join, that is the full outer join. Here we are going to maintain all the tuples from both the relations. Only thing is, when we are not having the values in the corresponding attributes, we are going to replace them with null values. So here also the same examples we have considered C and D, C being the square of the numbers and D being the cube of the numbers. See how when we have performed the C full outer join D, we are having the tuples from both the relations. See here, remember here we must have one attribute in common being with the same name and type. Such attribute is the num. So num we are having in the first relation, that is the left relation, we are having the values 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And in the right relation, we are having the other additional tuple with value 5. So that is the 5 here. And all the other attributes will be present in full outer join. The square from relation C and the cube from relation D. But here the thing to be noted is wherever we are not having the attribute values for that corresponding number in either the relations, relation C or D, we are replacing with minus, sorry, with hyphen, that is the null value. See here we are not having the square of num5. So here for this square we are going to show it as null, and we are not having the cube of number 4. So here in the cube place, in that column, we are going to show it as null. So these are the 6 joins we are having in relational algebra. 3 inner join and 3 outer join. The next operation being the division. Division is nothing but we are going to retrieve some some tuples in which the right side relation is going to be the subset of the left side relation. So the attributes of S, this is the right relation, must be the subset of the attributes of R. We are not going to say the tuples, we are going to say the attributes. The attributes of the right side relation must be the subset of the attributes of the left side relation. Here division is nothing but the attributes. We are going to divide the attributes. It's nothing but we are going to perform the difference operation on attribute R minus attribute S. Means if there is a tuple in R divided by S, we are going to have a tuple T in R divided as output if and only if that particular T means that particular tuple in S is subset of relation R. Only then we can have a tuple in the output relation. This is nothing but inverse of cross product. Division is nothing but inverse of cross product. And I forgot to say this is the symbol we are going to use. And in some cases we are going to use the division operator also. This division operator also we are going to use. And generally this division operation or command is used to answer the questions which are going to involve which employees work on all critical projects. So this is an example which we are having. In this we have considered two relations. One is the works relation with the two attributes enum and pnum, and the other relation being the critical with one attribute pnum. And what is the condition we have said? When we want to perform the division operation on two relations, the relation on the right side must have the attributes, or the attributes of the relation on the right side must be the subset of the attributes on the left side relation. Here pnum is a subset of enum and pnum, which are the attribute set of works relation. So consider the example here. What is the example? We said that the question is which employees work on all critical projects. We want to retrieve the employees who are going to work on critical projects. See here, this is the works relation instance where we are having two attributes, means two columns, enum and pnum, and we are having 7 tuples present in this works instance. And then we are having the critical instance with the 2 tuples, 2 records. And the condition here is we must have at least one attribute, that is the attributes of the second relation or the right relation must be subset of the attributes of the left relation. So now when we perform the works divided by critical, we are having the employee numbers which are satisfying or which are having the values of P number. See here E45, employee E45 is having P15, and here also there is another entry E45 having P15. See here E45 having P15, and also E45 is going to work for the project T10. So here what are the critical projects? The project numbers 15 and 10 are the critical projects. Now what is the request? We want the employees who are working for the critical projects. So when we have seen in this two relation, we have identified that employee 45 is working for the critical project P15 and also for critical project P10. And at the same time, employee E35 is working for the critical project P10 and also is working for critical project P15. So these are the two employees who are working for the critical projects. So for us to know here, for clarity, we have performed the cross product of these two relations. The output here we have shown is as cross product of the output of the division operation and the critical relation. See here, this is the cross product we have done, and this is the first relation, which is the division we have performed on works and critical, and this is the other relation we are going to give as input for cross product. So what is the cross product doing? The cross product, the first tuple in the left side relation will be paired with all the tuples in the right relation. So what is the first tuple in the left relation? E45. E45 is paired with all the tuples in the right relation, that is P15, E45, P10. Now the second tuple in the left relation, that is E35, will be paired with all the tuples in the right relation, that is E35, P15 and P10. So this is how we are going to use the division operation. Generally, the inverse of cross product is nothing but the result of division operation. So why we have to study relational algebra? We have studied different operations till now, unary operations, operations from set theory and binary operations. In that category, we have selected different operations. Why we require this relational algebra? In our previous class, in this previous lecture, when we are discussing the structure of DBMS, what we have said, we are having a query optimization engine present within the DBMS. Whenever an SQL command, which is a structured query language command from any type of source, whether it may be from web forms or whether it may be from application interface or whether it may be from SQL interface, whatever it is, when an SQL query has been given to the DBMS, first it will be given to the query execution engine. Here see in this diagram, this is the SQL query which is given to the query execution engine. In our structure here in this diagram, we are just explaining the first part, that is the query execution engine. What we said, when the query has been given, here the query is we are going to select name and grade from two relations. Means one column from relation A and one column from relation B. That is name from relation A and grade from relation B. And we are having one condition here, that is A dot ID equal to B dot ID. Means in both the relations the ID must be the same. For that type of tuple, we are going to retrieve the name and the grade. So this is what the SQL query given by the user. When this query has been given, it will be first given to the DBMS, the first component, that is query execution engine. So what the query execution engine is going to do, it is first going to give it to the parser. The parser task is what? It is going to check for the correctness of this correctness of the instruction or the command. As I have already said you, whether the names of the commands are given properly, whether the condition has been given properly, that is where clause has been given, if it is given in the proper way or not. All these things will be parsed in the first phase, that is the parser is going to check it. When the parser has checked and the query given is valid query with no errors, then it will be going for relational algebra expression. Here, it's a relevant relational algebra expression will be considered. Here, this is the corresponding relational algebra expression for the above SQL query. This is the SQL query, and this you are going to learn in the coming lectures, SQL query. And for this corresponding SQL query, this is the relational algebra expression. So what we are going to do? First thing is what? We require only the name and grade. For having only the columns, what we have to do? We have to use the projection operation. And what is the thing? We want to select the tuples where the IDs of both the relations are same. So for that we are going to use the select operation. And we require the values from both the relations. So for that we have to do what? We have to perform the join operation means here we have to perform the cross product or Cartesian operation. So initially what we are going to do, we are going to perform the Cartesian operation, and from that we are going to retrieve the ID and name. We are going to retrieve the tuples with the condition where the IDs are same, and then from the tuples we are just going to retrieve the name and the grade. This is the thing we have written, the relevant relational algebra expression. So here, then when the expression has been written, we are going to give it to the query optimizer. What the query optimizer is going to do? The query optimizer is going to check for optimizing the relational algebra expression. Whether is there any other relevant expression we can write, so that expression, query execution is going to use less number of resources like memory, and it can be executed within less time. So here evaluation will be done, that is the query optimizer is going to run, and it will select the best query which is going to optimize the resources. Then that query execution plan will be done here. The query execution plan will be done, and the corresponding code will be generated, and for that the executable code is generated, which will be executed using the data from the files, that is from the next components, and the output will be again given to the users in the format they have asked. Okay, so here what is the intention or what is the purpose of learning this relational algebra is, here the relational algebra expression will be evaluated for optimization, which is a very important task that must be done by the database management system, so that the less number of resources will be consumed, and within less number of time the request will be processed. And this is the summary of both the lectures, part 1 and part 2. These are the total operations, relational algebra operations we have discussed in this lecture. That is, the unary operations are select, projection, and rename. Where is the rename? Rename is not shown here in this summary due to space constraint. And here union, set difference, intersection, and Cartesian product are the relational algebra operations which are taken from set theory. And we are having the other binary operations like inner join. In inner join we are having theta, equi, and natural join. And outer join we are having left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join. And the additional thing we are having is the division. Here in the summary, rename and division was not shown, but we have discussed them also. And here there are 10 exercise questions given to you, which you have to write the relational algebra expressions for the queries considering these three relations. See, here we are taking three relations named sailors, boats, and reserves, and this is the schema of these relations: sailors, boats, and reserves. And here these are the instances of these relations, three relations: sailors instance, boats instance, and reserves instance. Using these instances and the schema, you are requested to write the relevant or the relational algebra expressions for these queries. Altogether 10 queries are given. You have to write the corresponding relational algebra expressions. And when we have completed our SQL lecture, for the same 10 queries, you are supposed to write the relevant SQL statements also. Okay, and thank you for now.